Hi everyone! Today we'll be talking about trends, how to describe data, how to describe trends and graphs in English. I will show you basic types of charts and graphs, I will teach you how to describe trends, and I will present vocabulary and expressions necessary to describe graphs and trends. I will also mention some prepositions, adjectives, and adverbs that are used for describing data. I will finish this lesson with a short case study where I will describe some graphs and data. Okay, so let's get started. Let's look at the main types of charts and graphs that you will probably see at work. The first one is a pie chart. It's very easy to remember the name because it looks like a pie and it is divided into slices. Each slice illustrates a proportion. The second chart is a bar chart. It has those bars that represent some data proportional to the height. The third chart is a line chart. It's also very easy. It consists of lines. The fourth one is an area chart. It covers a certain area. Okay, so we have a pie chart, a bar chart, a line chart, and an area chart. Let's look at other examples. A scatter plot or a scatter chart. It uses dots to represent the values. Bubble chart. A bubble chart is a variation of a scatter chart. It is often used to describe social or economic relationships. It's very easy to remember. It contains those bubbles. Let's look at the next one, radar chart or a spider chart. It's very easy to remember as well. If you think about a spider, this one looks a bit like a cobweb of a spider. So it's very easy to remember. This one is often used to show multiple variables because it is two-dimensional. So it shows multiple variables and the relationship between those variables. And the last chart that I wanted to mention is called box plot. It's also very easy to remember. If you take a look, it consists of boxes, right? So it's a box plot. This one is very often used for statistical analysis. Now, let's look at vocabulary that we can use to describe trends. Let's start with describing growth. You can use the following verbs and nouns. Firstly, the verbs. To increase, to rise, to improve, to go up. To increase, to rise, to improve, to go up. You can also use the following nouns. An increase, a rise, an improvement. An increase, a rise, an improvement. I just wanted to draw your attention to the pronunciation. You will probably notice that the verb to increase is pronounced differently from the noun. In the verb, we stress the second syllable, so it's increase, while in the noun, the stress falls on the first syllable, an increase. Now, if you want to talk about a rapid or a sharp increase, you can use the following verbs: to rocket, to soar, to increase considerably. To rocket, to soar, to increase considerably. Also, take a look at the following verbs. To double. This means something is multiplied by 2. To double. You can also use the verb to triple. So it is used to describe a trend where the figures are multiplied by 3. To quadruple, when data increased by 4, when it's multiplied by 4. And then if something is multiplied by 10, you can use the following expression: to increase tenfold. Now, let's look at ways in which you can describe negative trends. You can use the verbs to decrease, to decline, to drop, to fall, or to go down. To decrease, to decline, to drop, to fall, or to go down. Or the following nouns: a decrease, a drop, a fall. Again, please look at the difference in pronunciation between the verb to decrease and the noun a decrease. The stress falls on different syllables. If you want to talk about very rapid or sharp decrease, you can use the verbs to dive, to plummet, or to fall sharply. To dive, to plummet, or to fall sharply. Also, look at the verb to halve. This is the opposite of to double. It's very useful in many cases when you describe trends, when you can say that sales have doubled recently or sales have halved recently. Also, you can use the following verbs to describe trends. To recover. As you can see, there was a decrease for a long time. And after that long period of time, sales recovered and started to grow again. It's the same as the verb to recover when you're talking about an illness. So you're ill for a long time, but then you recover, you get better. You can use the same verb to describe trends. So to recover means to increase, to go up after some period of going down. The next verb, to fluctuate. As you can see, the sales keep going up and down all the time. In this case, you can say sales have been fluctuating. And the last verb I would like to show you is to level off, to remain stable. It's the same as to stay at the same level, to stabilize. To remain stable, to level off. Now it's time to look at some examples. In these examples, I would also like to show you some prepositions that are used to describe trends. They are very useful for describing trends. Let's look at the examples. Our business grew by 15% last year. Our business grew by 15% last year. Sales have increased from 5 million euro to 5.8 million euro. Sales have increased from 5 million euro to 5.8 million euro. There's been a decrease in profits of $500,000. There's been a decrease in profits of $500,000. Our company has reported a 25% increase in sales this month. Our company has reported a 25% increase in sales this month. I also wanted to show you some adjectives and adverbs that are very common when describing trends. They are very useful when you want to describe how big the trend is. So if you want to modify the verbs that you use, you can use the following adjectives. If it was just a small increase, you can use the adjectives slight or slow. A slight or a slow increase. You can also use the adverbs to increase slightly or to increase slowly. If there is a steady rise, or if there is a graduate rise, or if there is a moderate rise, you can expect that the rise is the same and more or less the same throughout the whole period. You can also say to grow steadily, gradually, moderately. However, if there is a very fast, rapid, big change, you can use the following adjectives. A considerable drop, a substantial increase, a significant fall, a sharp improvement, a rapid increase. You can also use the adverbs to go up considerably, to go up substantially, to increase significantly, to increase sharply, or to go up rapidly. Now it's time to look at more examples. The company X is forecast to grow to 6 billion euros in the next 5 years. This year's sales beat our expectations. Our company has delivered a 35% increase in monthly sales. We have reported a slight drop in profits this month. Company Y sees profits drop by almost 30% for the last 12-month period. The CEO says their pre-tax profit soared 15.5%. The US economy is forecast to grow steadily in the next 5 years. Our company has delivered a considerable increase in monthly sales. We have reported a slight drop in profits this month. Our profits have almost doubled over the past 12 months. At the beginning of the year, sales plummeted, but they recovered in the second quarter and leveled off in the second half of the year. Finally, it's time for our case study. Let's look at the bar chart on the left. This bar chart presents sales for the year 2018 divided into 4 quarters according to 3 different channels of distribution. Let's look at the results in our branches. We can see that sales stood at over 2 million and remained stable in the first 3 quarters of the year. They increased substantially in the period between October and December to reach 4.5 million. When it comes to sales over the phone, the results stood at 2.4 at the beginning of the year and doubled in the second quarter. In the third quarter, the numbers decreased considerably and remained stable for the remaining months. Online sales stood at around 2 million for the first 3 quarters and rocketed in October. Online sales in the last quarter almost tripled in comparison with the third quarter. Now it's time for you to practice and describe the trends. You can use the same bar chart that I presented to describe and verify with what I have presented. If you found this lesson useful, please subscribe to my channel and watch other lessons. Thanks for watching.